Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Abrar and I am student of A University doing mechatronics engineering from there. Today I had designed decoder, encoder, Max and Dmax on Proteus and as well as on Verilog. Now let's have a brief introduction of these circuits. Mux. In digital electronics, a mux is just like one server along. There's four inputs and one output. 4 cross 1 mux. So the inputs are controlled, the outputs are controlled by the controllers S1 and S2. Whenever we give different combinations to S1 and S2, these respective input will be at output. Let's suppose we have S1 and S2 0 0. This means input 1 will be at output. Then we have S1 0 and S2 1. Then we will have input 2 at output. When we have S1 and S2 is 0, then we got I in 3 at output. Exactly, and 1 and then is got input 4 at output. So this is how a mux works. By using two controllers, it controls 4 inputs. So let's proceed with truth table. So there's ABCD, 4 inputs and 2 controllers. During A, when in S is 0 0, A will be output, B will be output, C and D. So let's verify it using its circuit. This is a mux. Let's suppose we're gonna run it. Let's suppose we apply, this is A, this is B, this is C, C and D. Now when 1 1 and we applying data at D, so we got D at output. So 1 is 0 1 and we are applying data at C, then we got 1 at output. And whenever we are giving 1 0 and applying data at B, so you can see that we are getting 1. So let's suppose now we can also check it for 0. So when all others are 1 and B is 0, we are getting B at output. So this is how our mux working in Proteus. So respective input according to the controllers. So now coming back to our Dmux. Dmux. As in mux there are 4 input and 1 output. Exactly in same way in mux there is where's mux? Dmux there. There are 1 input and 4 outputs. So whenever controllers changes, the output appears at different. So whenever we have S0 0, then input appears at output 1. When we have 0 1, then output appears at 2. When we have 1 0, then output appears at 3. When we have 1 1, and output appears at 4. This works oppositely to the mux. So let's suppose now we can verify it using we are giving 1 at input. So we have 1 1. So input 1 and we have 1 1 is mean D will be high. So 1 we have a 1 0, then C will be high, and 1 is equal to 1 we have 0 1 we will get data at B, and when we have 0 0 when we get data at A. This is how Dmux is working. 4 AND gates and not. So now let's talk about encoders. What are encoders? Encoders is a combination circuit which is designed to perform the inverse operation of decoders. Encoders simply encoded information, and the decoders are the circuit is gonna decode this information. We store information in our coded word. And we design a decoder opposite to. So in encoder we have 4 inputs and 2 outputs. So we have 1 1 0 0 0 1 1, and we stored information of these 4 bits in these 2 bits. So gonna check this. So we have 2 bits. When we have 0 0, then we got 1000. So this is decoder. This is another. When we have when we have 1000, we got 0 0. When we have 0 1 100, we have 0 1. We have 1. We have 0 0 1 0. We have 1 0, and when we have 0 we have 1 1. So we can clearly see from this to table that our circuit is verifying. Now let's talk about decoder. Decoder decodes the encoded values which were encoded in encoders. It has 2 inputs and 4 outputs. So let's suppose we encoded information. So when we encoded information, when we have 00, we have got 1000. So in previous in encoders, when we have 1000, we got 00. So 00 was the encoded, was a secret chat, you can say that, and 1000 was the original information. When we have 01, we got 0100. When we have 11, we got 0001. And when we had 10, we got 0010 in encoders. So this is totally opposite to the encoders, and we are getting decoders. We are decoding that value which were stored in encoder. So that's it in the Proteus circuits. Now let's work in chords. Encoders, I had made a single file in which I write down all the codes and enclose them with the comment signs. Signs. Whenever I want to run desired code block, I remove this comment blocks and comment signs and run that block. Now first we're gonna run encoder. Encoder gonna encode the value. So we have module codes declaring inputs, 4 inputs, 2 outputs, and assigning them. We have statement that what the encoders at D bar, D or C, and D or B. So if we can see that from Proteus circuit as well. Now it's simulating. Error. So there is error. I correspondingly remove sign from 2 codes, so that's why it's not running. Now single block. Now it should gonna simulate smoothly. As you can see that it's simulating. So now we're gonna check its waveform. Gonna insert all the nodes. Nodes means all the inputs and output values. So now we go giving let's suppose what was the value of 100,000 00. So if we convert this as 1, now we're gonna simulate it. It should give us 00 at output. So you can see that it is giving 001, we are giving 1000. Now changing it, now we're giving us 0100, so it should give us 01. So from here you can see our output is 0 1. So our decoder is working and encoder is working properly. Now let's simulate for decoder that we have encoded the values. Now we're gonna decode it using the decoder we have formed. Now I'm gonna remove comment sign for it. Similarly, 2 inputs, 4 outputs. So each have corresponding statements. So code is simulating. I'm gonna form its waveform. First gonna insert all the nodes. All the nodes has been added, and let's suppose at 0 0 it should give us 1000, which was this value was encoded in the encoder. When we got 1000, then we got 0 0 output. So now we are giving input at 0 0, so it should give us 1000 at output recorded value. So it is giving us 1000. So now it give 0 1, so it give us 0 100. So our decoder and encoder are working perfectly alright for each other. So as you can see that we are giving 0 100 at 0 1. So we had successfully decoded our encoded value. Now we're gonna run mux and Dmux, and that will be enough for today's lab. Now I'm running that block mux Dmux. So all we know is Dmax has 1 input and 4 outputs. So whenever we give control, it changes the output input appears at the respective outputs. At 0 at output 1 will be high, 0 will be high at 0 1, 1 will be high at 0 1, 0 2 will be high, and the at 1 1 3 will be high. So we're gonna add every node finders. Now we're gonna list all the node pointers. At 0 0 mean S1 is equal to 0 and S2 is equal to 0. Input we give it high. Let's change its value to the high. It should give add out 0 to be high. All will be don't care, so we have not applied any conditions to it. So you can see that output 0 is high and other 2 3s are don't kills. So our mux is working properly, right? Now we're gonna check our mux. In this we have overall scenario. Then Dmax, now we have 4 inputs and 1 output. Each input will come at output at respective controllers. Okay, now we're gonna generate this waveform and listing every single node. So we have 0 0. Now suppose we are applying input at 1 and all other are 0. At 0 0 it should give 1 or input at here, so we're gonna output 1 at 0 0. First input will be at output. So from here we can see that first input will be at output at 0 0 control. Now change control settings and we insert it as 1 1 last one. It means D will come out. If D whatever D is will come out. So let's changing D to 1 and rest of 0, so we can differentiate easily. No, sorry. Now output will be 1 due to D. So from here you can see that output due to D as 1, at 1 1 output is 1. So we can say that our mux is also working properly. So gonna make so these are all from our encoders, decoder, mux and Dmux. So that, thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.